It's time. It's freaking time. Wait, hold on. I had to make sure my mic was on. It's freaking time. You guys see, finally, it is time to react to the Mossbag lore video. After all this time, I have gotten so many comments, so many people telling me, react to the lore video, react to the lore video, react to the lore video. Why don't you react to the lore video? Listen, I'm about to react right now. I'm about to react literally right now. I mean, we are getting the stream star a little bit later than usual. A little bit later. My bad on that. My bad on that. Had to figure out how I was going to do this exactly. I didn't know whether I should have a Twitch stream up. And then I figured I think I'm only going to do the YouTube mainstream that you guys are watching right now because because I don't have like double monitors or whatever, so I would not be able to look at like multiple chats. I would only be able to look at one chat, and so I literally have it on my phone. On my phone, as you can see, like that is me. That's actually me, bro. Look, there you guys. There you guys. But yeah, I have it on my phone so I can see what you guys are saying while I'm reacting to the video. And yeah, that's really it. That's really it. I mean, I could have, just went like back and forth, but I feel like that'd be too much of a hassle, especially while I'm trying to like watch a video and actually trying to retain information. I don't want to be worried about who's saying what in one chat. I just want to be able to look at one chat, just look in one place and be like, yeah, it'd be a lot easier. But first of all, before we even get into this, bro, what's popping with you guys, man? What's good, Traven, Sean, Tiny, Hollow, my goats, let's freaking go. Leah's here, Super Baby Mario, oh my gosh, Granite, T-Dub, what's good? Nico, oh, Board is also here, man. Hey, you guys popped out tonight. You guys freaking pop cats are cool. What's freaking good with you? What's freaking good with you? And B is here. Hey, let's get it. Let's freaking get it. Woo! The Knight's only heart attack got nerfed. Did they actually patch the nerf? Patch the nerf. Did they actually patch the Knight? They actually made it easier? Wow. I haven't even beaten it myself. I have not. I don't know if I plan on doing it or not, but yeah. I guess if I do ever do it in the future, I won't get the full Rory Knights experience. Not technically, not technically. Today I'm sitting, the cats are on the couch. Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Stable, did you see my message about why I haven't been to streams? No, I did not, Brennan. Let me scroll up. Sorry I haven't been in the streams. I just wake up very early for my cross country practice. Hey, that's understandable. That is understandable. Hopefully you've been killing those practices, man. Hopefully you've been killing those practices. Newsy, what's good? Am I late? You are never late. You actually are not even late at all. I mean, we haven't even gotten started with the video, so you're freaking good. You're freaking good. I'm about to get into it right now, though. I mean, why wait? Why wait? Why wait? Why wait? Oh my gosh! Whenever I do start, you guys will have to tell me if like the audio sounds good, because watching videos on stream is a little gimmicky. Don't know if they're ever like too loud or too soft or whatever. I don't want it like, of course I want you to be able to hear it, of course, but I don't want you guys to be overpowered by it. And if I say something, you can't even hear me, right? So yeah, you'll have to definitely keep me on check. Say we gotta join Lunar tonight if you in stream before he's done. What is he doing exactly? What is he doing? I'm having a gaming session and start a new game. Hey, let's go, Hollow, let's go. Wait. What game is it? What game is it? Let me go ahead and get it. You guys already see. You guys already see. Hey, it's time. You guys see it. You guys see it. You guys already see it, bro. I've already liked, bro. I've already subbed. This is my first Mossbag video I've ever seen before, so I don't know what to expect. I don't even know what this dude sounds like, okay? I really do not. Stable Loop. Hey. My first playthrough Undertale. Hey, Hollow, I hope you enjoy it. You're definitely gonna enjoy it. You're definitely gonna enjoy it. That is a goated game. That is a goated game, man. Enjoy it. I don't know if you've seen any like, spoilers or like anything regarding the game, but hey, just do what you want to do. Just do what you want to do, because there's a bunch of different like paths and like stuff you can do. Just do what you feel like is right for you. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me stay hydrated. Yo, so oh my gosh, this Sable Ghost. Hello, totally real Sable Ghost. Oh man, that is funny. That is freaking funny, man. Oh, he's playing Roblox. Ah, look, I probably wouldn't be able to join him because what the video is an hour 17 minutes. I'm pretty sure as soon as I get done with this, I'm probably gonna go to sleep. It's gonna be late. Peeps, what's good? Am I late? You are not late. You are not late. I have not seen spoilers. I'm just playing through right now. Hey, that is perfect. That is literally perfect, man. And we got Sable Ghost and we got Sable Ghost Love in here. That is crazy. What's good? Let's get started. And Epic Live, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? I see you. I see you. I see you. I think that's everybody. I think that's everybody. We can get started now. We can get started now. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's go. Oh my gosh, bro, I gotta read already? Jeez. Warning, this video contains a few spoilers for Hollow Knight. Please bear that in mind before embarking on this journey. Or don't. I really don't care. I'm just text on the screen. Understandable, understandable. Well, look, we've already played through the game. We've already played the Pantheon 5. I don't care nothing about spoilers, man. Let's go. Ooh, I'm actually right to the video. That's crazy. That's crazy.
What is your favorite video game ever made? I would have to say Cory in the House for the Nintendo DS, but Hollow Knight would be a close second. Hollow Knight was released on February 24th, 2017 by Team Cherry, an indie.
Hey, you guys already heard that? February 24th? Nah, I'm just I'm not gonna be one of those reactors, I promise. Where I'm pausing every 5 seconds. I promise I'm not. Too quiet. Okay, thank you, Granite. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's good? Sable Ghost number wait, we got Sable Ghost #1 fan, we got Sable Ghost, and we got Sable Ghost lover, bro. Well, it's freaking good. Alright, let's turn it up some. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Indie game studio based in the mythical land of Adelaide, South Australia. Over the past 3 years, Hollow Knight has become an indie darling. The game has sold over 3.5 million copies. It was the opening game
of good? Is this good, chat?
2019. There's a Hollow Knight book, a line of plushies, t-shirts, nicotine patches, nuclear warheads, and even vinyl records for all you goddamn hipsters. Team Cherry had one.
Still a little quiet. Is good. Is good. Okay, I'm getting some goods. I'm getting some goods. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Look, 2v1. I'm wearing my Hollow Knight shirt right now. Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Goal when making Hollow Knight. They wanted to create a world that allowed players to get completely lost in exploration. We can see this desire in Hollow Knight's design. The levels in Hollow Knight are massive, with secrets and rewards hidden.
You know what else is I'm sorry. I had to. I can barely hear it. Is good. Too quiet. Okay, it is, I guess, too quiet for some people. Let me turn it up some. Listen.
In every nook and cranny, be that powerful charms, special abilities, or the game's navigation system requires the player to work for their map, forcing them to make a stronger mental image of the world in their head. Christopher Larkin's score and Ari Gibson's artwork lend to this as well, creating an atmosphere that the player won't want to leave.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Man, screw that Base 44.
But there's one aspect of Hollow Knight that keeps people like me coming back. The world building.
Now it's good. Okay. It's fine now. Okay.
When Super Metroid launched in 1994, it stood out for its amazing sense of immersion.
We taking it back,
now, in 1994, I was busy not being alive, but I've watched enough YouTube video essays to know that this game was a big deal. In case you didn't know, Super Metroid is basically the granddaddy of all Metroidvanias. That's why they're called Metroidvanias.
Of course.
In Super Metroid, there are moments that give the player a sense of depth. Basically, the feeling that this world exists outside of Samus's interactions with it. In the room right before that diabetic crocodile thing, Samus can find the corpse of a random soldier. His inclusion here doesn't change the gameplay at all, but instead gives the player a sense of wonder about the world they are exploring. Who was this guy? Why was he here in the first place?
Do you still know who I am?
Do you like jazz?
I don't.
Now, finding dead bodies and other random garbage is pretty cool, right? While Hollow Knight basically does the same thing, about a dozen times. Through its world building, Hollow Knight turns Hallownest into a living kingdom. You can sense...
Did you just say hallowed? Is it Hallownest? I've been saying Hollownest this whole time. Is it Hallownest? Bro, I've been saying the world wrong. What the heck? What the heck? Sable is Kiefer, for freak's sake. My bad. Wait, I thought Sable Ghost Lover was Kiefer. Oh, dang. I don't know, bro. Depends on how you pronounce it.
The ancient history of the land when you look at dilapidated structures or giant barred doors. Nothing feels like it was put into the game randomly. There's a reason for it all. Except those reasons aren't the easiest to uncover. Hollow Knight's narrative is buried under layers of NPC dialogue, item descriptions, lore tablets, and even additional content like the Quarrel comic and Fangamer's Wanderer's Journal.
Never seen any of this.
These years have seen an insane amount of research by the Hollow Knight community to make sense of Team Cherry's sprawling world.
Wait, what did I just say?
Research by the Hollow Knight community to make sense of Team...
What? I thought I saw that. I was about to say, oh, we're not going to just skip right past this. I can't even read what this says, but you guys see it. You guys see this. Why did you sound happy to see Zotes? No, I'm just surprised. I was surprised. Screenshot it. Scroll down, please. Very important info. What the freak?
Team Cherry's sprawling world. We've even made it to the point where people are looking at the in-game signs to try and decipher Hallownest's logographic language. In this video, I hope to give you a long and detailed look into the world of Hollow Knight, exploring Hallownest's history and uncertain future. When I'm not busy making surprisingly accurate Super Smash Bros. Roster speculation videos, or insightful podcasts about beloved subjects like the Donkey Kong Country television series, or whatever this was supposed to be, I'm usually making videos about Hollow Knight.
Jeez.
And while I am a seasoned Hollow Knight lore expert, I cannot confirm that every musing or theory presented in this video is completely correct. I highly recommend checking out the lore section of the Hollow Knight wiki if you want a more neutral explanation of Hollow Knight's lore. But if you're too lazy to read, then I suggest you sit back, order some Domino's pizza, or just grab a block of cheese from the fridge, and enjoy the mostly complete lore of Hollow Knight.
I'm looking forward to it. I got the perfect I got the perfect screenshot of your reaction. Oh boy. I'm definitely gonna clip that. Did he just say wiki? He might have just said that. I think he just said that.
Every human worships a god, be that technology, ideologies, or in rare cases, God. As it turns out, the bugs in Hallownest pretty much operate in the same way. From the Mosskin born from the dream of a giant slug, to the emo kids of the ancient civilization who literally worship the darkness, there is no shortage of things to worship in the world of Hollow Knight. Our story begins with a creature very much worthy of worship. A creature born from the carcass of a worm. The carcass can still be found in the Kingdom's Edge, and it's our only good look at what worms actually looked like.
I was just
there. At the time Hollow Knight occurs, it is suggested there are no worms left in the world. They were incredibly long creatures that featured little to no limbs. Another more mysterious property of worms was that they had some kind of prescience or foresight. Basically, they could see the future to some capacity.
The Monado.
It isn't clear how effective this ability was. Considering how the entire race went extinct, this foresight ability must have been pretty shit. Getting back to this particular worm carcass, it is explained that this worm traveled across the distant mountains and wastelands beyond Hallownest. Once it arrived in Hallownest, the worm died. Except not really. Inside the maw of the carcass sits a pale broken egg, out of which hatched a new form of worm, a being of meager shell. This form of the worm is usually referred to as the Pale King, and he's the character basically responsible for everything that happens in Hollow Knight. The Pale King is a higher being, a type of creature that exists above all others. His body was said to shine with a radiant visage that harmed those who looked upon him. The ultimate goal of the Pale King seemed to be in line with that of other worms. A line from the cryptic Mr. Mushroom reads, "Worms pull bugs into their thrall. till ages pass and kingdoms fall. In other words, it's just in
It rhymed. It had to be true. It has to be true. It rhymed. It rhymed. It rhymed. We love Deep Lore, bro. I'm getting into it. I'm like, I was concentrating. I was focused. I was not paying attention to anything but this video right here. I was not. I was not. Now, a faker Sable Ghost lover, a Sable Ghost lover would never say that to a Sable fan. What did he say? What did he say? What? Ad counter 1.
their nature. Dogs wag their tails, cats bury their shit, and worms bring massive amounts of bugs into their service in order to form long-standing kingdoms and civilizations. And here in a far corner of the world, the Pale King emerged from the corpse of his former self and began to build his eternal kingdom, Hallownest. There's just one slight problem. There's like people already living there.
Yeah.
The area that would eventually become Hallownest was already filled with mantises, bees, moths, spiders, mushrooms, and bush cosplayers.
Same old phone? Nah.
Bro.
To the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Red Bull gives you wings.
That was actually such a smooth ad. I thought that was part of the video at first.
Each of these groups were already operating with their own cultures and societies, and each group had a different interaction with the Pale King. One of the more receptive groups to the arrival of the Pale King were the mushrooms of the fungal wastes. These creatures were able to communicate with one another through one shared mind. The mushrooms viewed this shared mind as a strength, and they were kind of smug dickheads about it.
Dang.
Ultimately, the mushrooms wearily accepted the Pale King's rule, viewing his foresight as a shield to the dangers of the future. Another group living in the fungal wastes is the Mantis tribe. The Mantises have a rich cultural history reaching back to long before the birth of Hallownest.
Oh.
The Mantises are a proud tribe, believing in the importance of proving one's physical strength. The Mantises are fiercely territorial, but will show respect to those who display great power. These Fight Club enthusiasts were led by 4 powerful Mantis Lords,
Wait,
who I
4?
guess just kind of sat around waiting for outsiders to challenge them. The Mantis tribe had no interest in the Pale King's kingdom, but the two communities did come to a truce. In exchange for their independence from Hallownest, the Mantis tribe kept the beasts of Deepnest from invading Hallownest. Not sure why they didn't just go out the other exits from Deepnest, but whatever. I'm not an expert on border patrol. I don't work at ICE anymore. Let's move on to Deepnest.
Did he just say I don't work in ICE anymore? There is 4 Mantis Lords. What happened to the other one? What the heck? What the heck? Did I hear this man right?
On border patrol. I don't work at ICE anymore.
He did say that.
Let's move on to Deepnest. Now, many of the different tribes have had.
Oh, the 4th is Trader. Oh, Trader Lord, Trader Lord. Okay. I see. Dang, you guys just know. You guys just know.
Hallownest were kind enough to leave lore tablets behind, detailing pretty much everything we need to know about them. Unfortunately, the bugs of Deepnest didn't do that. We know that the spiders of Deepnest had a monarchy because why not? Those are always good, right? Also within Deepnest are a separate group of spiders that immigrated to Deepnest at some point in the past. This group was known as the Weavers, and they established their own culture and history within Deepnest. They used looms of silk to weave stories, spells, and shields. One thing we know for sure about Deepnest is that they really didn't want anything to do with Hallownest. The struggles of Deepnest-Hallownest relations would become painfully clear as time goes on, but for right now, it seems like the two remained fairly isolated from one another. Another section of pre-Hallownest includes Greenpath. Now, as far as we can tell, the mushrooms, mantises, and spiders of Deepnest didn't worship any higher beings. There is this giant mushroom corpse in the fungal core, but I don't think this is a higher being. I mean, who the hell would want to worship a fat-ass mushroom? Fat-ass slugs? Now that's dope. The land we know as Greenpath was created by the higher being known as Un. Un used her great mind to dream the vegetation.
I've been saying that wrong too. Un. I thought it was like the shape of bro, are you serious? Like I said, the streaming a while ago, I watched this video around 50 times. Also, you know everything, peeps. You know literally everything. Warhammer was good and Deer was good. Hey, he can watch it and I can spoil it now. And Judith was good. Finally, a Mossbag review. I know. We're here. We're here.
Of Greenpath into the once barren caverns. Un's followers, the Mosskin, were also born out of Un's dream, making her their creator. Greenpath at its height was actually much larger than we see in-game. At one point,
Oh?
Greenpath stretched into both modern-day Queen's Garden and possibly Fog Canyon. Greenpath's citizens showed themselves to be a fairly developed society. They built a temple at the Lake of Un in order to worship her, and they even had their own line of defense, with Moss Knights showing proficiency in combat, using nails and shells as weapons. The Law of Un continued to remain in effect even after the Pale King arrived, but it seems like they allowed the king to establish a road through their lands, leading travelers to the heart of Hallownest. Hence the name Greenpath. Yeah, Team Cherry really racked their brains when naming this area, didn't they?
Very creative.
Next, we have the bees. And while there is no lore on how these bees can turn into fucking drills, or how they can ignore all known laws of aviation, we do know how they reacted to the Pale King. These bugs decided to seal their hive off from the rest of the world, with only patrol bees being able to enter and exit the hive. So yeah, the bees are pretty much pointless in this story. And finally we have the Moth Tribe. In-game, the only moth settlement is in the Resting Grounds, but the tribe might have also inhabited the Crystal Peak at one point. Now, as we all know, moths in real life are just complete assholes. As for the moths in
Hey. Not too much. Not too much on the moths. Not too much on the moths, bro. The moths, they don't mess with anybody. What the freak? Is there another sable ghost in the, what the heck? There's another sable ghost in the chat, bro. What the heck? What the heck? Don't diss moths like that. I'm saying they literally don't mess with anybody. All they want to do is just get near the light. That's all they do. That's all they do.
Hollow Knight, well, it's a bit complicated. The moth race is described as being a rather pacifist group, with few ever choosing to take up a weapon. During the Pale King's reign, the moth race delved amongst dreams and the dead, displaying the importance of remembering those who have passed, as well as learning how to shape dreams themselves. Similar to the Mosskin, the Moth Tribe was born from a higher being, known as the Radiance.
Oh.
The Radiance is described as being a light in which the Moth Tribe basked, so she was basically a giant lamp to them. Another important aspect about the Radiance is her ties to dreams and a substance known as essence. Essence are the remains of wishes and dreams, and are represented in-game by these dream-catcher particle effects. Essence can take the form of whispering roots, as well as dream ghosts, both of which are memories taking root in the world. The Radiance appears to be a creature made of essence, but she isn't the only higher being to give off essence. Un has green particles, the Pale King has gray particles, and this sexy character named Grim gives off fiery red particles. However, the Radiance appears to be the main god when it comes to dreams, even if other gods also dabble in the dream realm. Getting back to the Moth Tribe.
Hey, you know what? Quick intermission right here. Shameless plug. But if you have not already, man, make sure to check out the Absolute Radiance fight video I just dropped today. First try. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it for you. First try of fighting Absolute Radiance. After 3 months, I freaking beat it. Yeah, but still, you should see it though. It was a nail biter, bro. It was a nail biter. If you like, fiction was good. If you like moths, you will love Bug Fables. One of your party members is a moth. Bug Fables. I gotta look into that. Say, read my message. What did you say, Tiny? Let me scroll it right quick. Tiny. Pin a link to the video. That's gonna be too much. I'm not gonna lie. Look, I'm pretty sure mostly everyone watching this has already seen this or knows what this video is. Plus, the title is literally right there. They can look up the mostly complete lore of Hollow Knight. They'll be able to find it. They're good.
It is their interaction with the Pale King that we need to discuss. Basically, the moths turned their backs on the Radiance completely in order to worship the new light that had appeared, the Pale King's light. So yeah, moths are assholes in this game too. With her tribe forsaking her, the Radiance became a forgotten memory, a remnant of the past, and a thing that's definitely not going to come up again later in this video.
Definitely not.
And so the Pale King's new kingdom was established, Hallownest. But there is one aspect of Hallownest that we need to discuss. Unfortunately, to better understand this, we're going to have to read some poetry. In Wilds Beyond they speak your name with reverence and regret. For none could tame our savage souls, yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch you taught, we changed. Base instincts were redeemed. A world you gave to bug and beast as they had never dreamed. This is from a poem titled Elegy for Hallownest.
Pizza Hut's hooking you up with more of what you love. 4 Lovers pizzas loaded with
Oh,
favorite toppings.
man.
Order on the app.
Oh, man.
Served 20 years for man's laughter. You mean manslaughter? Must have been quite the joke.
Only in theaters August 1st.
Written
I kind of was that like 3 now? Is that 4 or 3? I can't even remember. My friend says she miss doing math. Hey, you know what, your friend? I respect your friend. I respect your friend. Math is my favorite subject too. I respect it. Dear, what you mean? What did dear say? What did dear say?
by Motomon the Teacher. The poem appears at the beginning of every playthrough, and hints at what the Pale King and his kingdom offered. Much of the land outside of Hallownest appears to be a wasteland, where bugs survive off of instinct, without the burden of mind. Hallownest somehow taught these bugs and tamed their savagery. Basically, the Pale King changed the instincts of his subjects, and granted them higher thought. To get a better picture of this, let's look at 2 different characters, Boone and Tuck. These adorable panda bug things give us a clear display of Hallownest's effect.
Wait a minute. When did these characters come? I don't even remember these people. I do not remember these people in the game at all. I definitely don't even remember you. Where were you even at? Hollow Knight was good. Sable, download some more RAM or why? What? I don't even know how to download RAM. Bro, my phone died, but I'm back now. Hey, welcome back, peeps. Welcome back. If you're a computer science major and you don't like math, you picked the wrong major. Exactly. A lot of computer science is math.
While both appear to be the same species of bug, Boone is dumb as a sack of rocks,
Dang.
struggling to string together words, while Tuck speaks fairly clearly. The main difference between these 2 characters is that while Boone lives outside of Hallownest, Tuck lives beneath the city's capital. Basically, it appears as though Hallownest is a literal holy ground that raises the intelligence of those who dwell within. The Pale King established a path, starting from the kingdom's entrance in King's Pass, winding through Greenpath and the fungal wastes, and finally ending at the massive capital at Hallownest's heart. We now know the capital city as the City of Tears, but that was likely not its original name. The rain that falls down onto the city from the blue lake above didn't begin until after the kingdom collapsed. So unless the capital was originally named by some edgy literature student, the name City of Tears wouldn't have made much sense. The king's motivation for all this appears to have been his desire to be worshipped. The citizens of Hallownest believe that the Pale King created the world, and everything in it. Shrines to the king can be found scattered throughout the kingdom, and king's idols were created and distributed to followers of the king.
Wow. As I don't know how many times I've been in this area, I don't remember that being in the background. I do not remember that being in the background. I don't know how I missed that. I don't remember that. Maybe I did my first playthrough. I cannot remember that. I've actually never seen this video. I just knew the lore by default. I've only watched his videos about references, which introduced me to Dead Cells. Wow. Hey, first time for everything. First time for literally everything.
Despite the worship, the Pale King often kept himself hidden from his subjects, possibly to hide his blemishes. I mean, if you look at the size of the real Pale King to his statue in the ancient basin, the man is clearly overcompensating.
Yep.
The Pale King's White Palace was also built underneath the city, separating him from his subjects even more so. At the same time, certain powers became shunned in Hallownest, though we don't know for sure if the Pale King had anything to do with this. Lifeblood is a blue liquidy substance that leaves those who drink it feeling refreshed. However, the use of lifeblood was seen as a taboo, and those who used it were demonized as heretics. The use of soul for combat was also shunned. Soul is a sort of life force in Hollow Knight that animates the bodies of living creatures. But some characters are able to control the soul of others to conjure powerful spirits.
So, wait a minute. This whole time I've been using lifeblood and soul. They don't like this. I've basically been breaking every single law in existence ever since I stepped foot in Hallownest. Literally. Yeah, guys, size doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, not at all. Yeah, no. It don't matter. Not at all.
Aside from a few exceptions, no citizens of Hallownest ever used this power. However, the Pale King didn't rule alone. There was another higher being in the mix, a being known as the White Lady. The White Lady is a weird brute-like being that can
Wood.
be found in the modern-day Queen's Gardens. She is encased in a strange cocoon, and we know very little about her. With as much exposition we get for the Pale King, there is next to nothing on the White Lady. But one thing we do know is that she likes to breed. Like, a lot. The White Lady would often retreat to the Queen's Gardens, an area of land once controlled by the Mosskin. How exactly she walked around and actually went places is a lore question too deep for even my expertise. The White Lady is also known as a pale being, along with the Pale King. What exactly are pale beings? Well, we don't know for sure, but they seem to stand out even amongst higher beings, as being even more powerful. I know that's a little confusing, so let's try using an example. I'd say that regular higher beings are like a TP-Link Archer C7 AC1750 wireless dual-band gigabit router, while pale beings are like the Asus RT-AX88U AX6000 dual-band 8X gigabit Wi-Fi router.
That I understand it perfectly from that. I don't know about you guys. I understand it perfectly. I understand it perfectly. How many attempts did that take? Attempts. What attempts? You think they attack you because of the infection, but they just hate that you're breaking the laws. Exactly, bro. Exactly. The whole time, man. The whole time. That's a she. She's literally called the White Lady. It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Under the Pale King, Halnest underwent a bit of an industrial revolution. He ordered the construction of the stagways, which were used to transport passengers and goods. The Forgotten Crossroads and the storerooms above the City of Tears were used to store goods that traveled along these stagways. The king also ordered the construction of the tramways, because literally no one is safe from the threat of automation. A tram was built between the Forgotten Crossroads and the resting grounds. A second tram was built from the kingdom's edge across the ancient basin over to Deep Nest. And then a third tram was started in Deep Nest and attempted to go further into Deep Nest. Not sure how useful that would have been to the bugs of Halonest, but whatever. The Pale King's a smart guy. I'm not gonna question him. But anyway, the Pale King's super smart plan to build a tram in Deep Nest ended up getting a few of his tram workers killed. The bugs of Deep Nest rejected the Pale King's attempt to build a tram in their territory, further cementing the poor relations shared between the two groups. Aside from convenient fast travel, regular pathways were also used to cart goods around the kingdom. From this was born probably one of the most important groups in Halonest, and perhaps even all of fiction. An elusive guild of bugs, simply known as the Menderbugs, took to maintaining the various signs scattered throughout Halonest. From the journal entry of one Menderbug, we can catch a glimpse into their ancient and unknowable minds.
Dear, dear diary, isn't life just the most beautiful thing? Fixing signs, mending posts, let them break, I say. I'm a better mender for all that repairing. I sometimes doubt there's a single bug in all of Halonest happier than me.
Another
Were the Minderbug? Were they in the game? I don't remember seeing a Minder. I do not remember seeing a Minderbug. I don't at all. The hitboxes on the knife wave got a little bit smaller, making it much easier. That's a nerf. Oh. Hey, I like that. I like that. At least they nerfed it. At least it's a little bit easier now, I guess. Minderbug. I know. It's the freaking Minderbug. He is my goat. Even better than me. Me peeps. No, I'm sorry. You're getting bent now. I'm just playing. Oh man. You got to get a secret to find him. Oh, so you can actually see him in the game. Yeah, I don't think I remember seeing it. So must didn't get that secret. He's rare, that's why you haven't seen him. Yeah.
Another example of the Pale King's expanding infrastructure is the Crystal Peak. This area is filled with crystals that grow rapidly along walls, ceilings, and even the shells of certain bugs. These crystals were considered valuable to the bugs of Halonest, resulting in large-scale mining efforts. We don't actually see the crystals used anywhere else in Halonest, but they are said to contain a sort of energy. The crystals are also said to sing, if you listen very carefully.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so
In terms of military, Halonest's first line of defense appeared to be a group simply known as the Five Great Knights. The members of this esteemed coalition were Ogrim, Hagamol, Zamir, Drya,
Red Bull
And monk fruit, bro.
Zero sugar, 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
Okay, alright. Okay, we go from a Rick roll to a freaking ad, bro. Banger video, bro. W video. Bro I just got Rick rolled. I just got Rick rolled in the big 2025, bro. That's crazy.
For being so important, most of the information about these knights has been lost to time. Ogrim is the knight we know the most about, since he is one of the few knights still alive during the events of the game. Ogrim expressed a great amount of loyalty towards the king, and he maybe had something going on with Isma, but we really don't know. Hagamol was known for his sense of humor and his soft-spoken voice, but at the same time, he was also dummy thick. Mysterious Samir arrived in Halness from a serene...
Why do you say it like that? Wait, let me hear it again.
Time, he was also dummy thick.
Why do you put that emphasis on him? Dummy thick. What the heck? I had no ads so far. Hey, you're lucky. Red Bull is confirmed a knight. Hey, Red Bull, man. Red Bull. One of the F1 teams.
Mysterious Samir arrived in Halness from a serene land, bringing with her a collection of delicate flowers. At some point, she also got into a relationship with a mantis, but not just any mantis, a daughter of one of the mantis lords. So yeah, it seems like these great knights were slaying in more ways than one. All we really know about Drya is that she was fierce, caring, and wise.
Drya? I bet she wasn't dry.
As for Isma, she was described as being kind. She also appears to be some sort of weird plant life form, but there's no information on where she's from or what her powers were. The 5 Great Knights play an important role in the Champion's Call, the Knotted Grove, and the Battle of the Black Worm. We have no idea what these events were or how they affected Halonest, but they sound cool nonetheless. During Halonest's reign, there was another strange area that seemed to exist separate from the Pale King's rule. Carved out of the corpse of an ancient bug, an area called the Colosseum of Fools was constructed, and it was a destination for warriors from outside Halonest. The sole purpose for fighting in the Colosseum appeared to be simply for glory, with a mysterious figure known as the Lord Fool overseeing the combat. We don't know when the Colosseum was constructed or if the Pale King was involved, but one of his servants, the Pale Lurker, became a champion in the Colosseum, perhaps indicating the Pale King's approval. And finally there was the Royal Waterways, where the fecal excrement of the kingdom was washed out into the fungal wastes. This area saw the rise of a species of parasite-like creatures called the Flukes. The Flukes spawned from the Fluke Marm.
I don't even want to see you, bro. I don't even want to see you, man. Dude, you gotta check out the Pale Court mod for 5 night stuff with great bosses. I wish I could do mods, but I can't play Hollow Knight on the computer, so yeah. Guys, hear me out. What if Pikmin is canon to Hollow Knight? Guys, just let me cook. Okay, wait, hold on. What makes you say that, though? What makes you say that? Bro, it's not family friendly. I'm like 96% family friendly. Sometimes, sometimes when stuff is, just set up, bro, just an alley-oop. Yeah.
Giant monster with cavities in which tinier flukes live. There really isn't too much lore involved with the flukes, but I do need to point out that the Fluke Marm is canonically a MILF. Like, that's not even debatable. The sky is blue, 2 + 2 = 4, and we all want to fuck this thing. And so
wow. I was not actually expecting to say all that. I was not expecting that. I do too, dear. Oh nah, bro. That's crazy.
This was the kingdom of Halonest at its height. Halonest was a vast kingdom connected by a network of stagways and tram stations. The bugs of Halonest mourned their dead on the resting grounds, engaged in commerce using Geo, the de facto currency of the region, and a thriving capital located in the middle of the kingdom. The Pale King had succeeded in crafting a full-blown society, But we all know there are pitfalls to living in a society. As a suspiciously knowledgeable hunter points out in his journal, the Pale King had created a population of weak and pathetic creatures. The bugs of Hallownest did not hunt for their own food, and had become complacent with their comfort. This is even more obvious with the east wing of the capital. These greedy members of Hallownest's high society became complete cowards, obsessed with riches and plum from excess wealth.
Hey,
the bugs living
I
in
killed you
Hallownest's
yesterday.
prime looked only civilization. It calls Hallownest an eternal kingdom. This appears to have been the Pale King's goal, for Hallownest to stand against a wasted world as a final beacon for civilization. And that was the Pale King's ultimate folly, to think that he could succeed where so many others had failed before. Long before the Pale Kings or the Barry Bensons of the world, the land of Hallownest was controlled by an ancient caste. Hints of Hallownest's history are littered throughout the land, with the most notable examples being the soul totems and arcane eggs. One sect of these ancient bugs didn't worship a god like the Pale King or any lord, but instead a dark and mysterious substance known as the Void. This ancient caste once also tried to lay claim to the entire land of Hallownest, but they too failed. In his quest to conquer all of Hallownest, the Pale King had made an enemy long forgotten, an enemy that was about to be remembered.
Dude, there is so much, bro. These are just the freaking, like, they're exploring, like, the areas and, like, the people in Holland. There's so much. We haven't even really gotten, like, in-depth. As you can see, like, I literally only, I have, like, almost an hour of the video left. There's just a lot, bro. There's just a lot. There's a lot. Oh, my gosh. Reload, there was lag. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, I'm probably not going to reload, but... Yep, just 12 o'clock lag, man. 12 o'clock lag. Yo, Alice, what's good? What's freaking good with you? Hope you're really doing well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you didn't miss too much. I mean, the last, like, 30 minutes, 30 seconds, he didn't really say that, like, that much, so...
I mentioned earlier that the Moth tribe entirely forgot about the Radiants in order to worship the Pale King, but that isn't quite true. Memories of her still lingered, and hushed whispers of faith kept the Radiants alive. At the summit of the Crystal Peak, a location known as Hallownest Crown, a strange collection of glyphs can be found. Joining these glyphs is a statue of the Radiants, presiding over the kingdom below. This old summit is the sole standing shrine left to the Radiants. This was built in order to keep the memory of the Radiants alive.
Alright, it's a freaking ad, bro. It's a freaking ad.
And there's doing it yourself.
Yep, no.
The Radiance's light began to appear in the dreams of Hallownest citizens. This light manifested itself in an infection that ravaged through the kingdom's tunnels. Those infected would fall into a deep sleep and awaken with broken minds. Some of the lesser bugs tried to resist the Radiance's light, which only resulted in them being consumed by it even more so. Many infected bugs lost their wills and began attacking bugs that weren't infected. The infection also twisted the bodies of its hosts, causing them to bloat and occasionally develop orange cysts on their bodies. For many victims, they were reverted back to their basic instincts, carrying out the duties they once fulfilled in life, but now as mindless slaves. Those caught up in the infection were linked into the Radiance's hive mind, allowing her to control their bodies if needed. As the infection spread across Hallownest, many groups looked to solutions to fight off the Radiance's light. The gates to the City of Tears were closed in an attempt to keep the infection from reaching the city. The stagways were also shut down at some point, and many of the stags eventually died out, but some took more proactive efforts against the infection. The scholars of the Soul Sanctum decided to harness the power of Soul in an attempt to fight the infection. This resulted in the deaths of hundreds of bugs, whose souls were sucked out and injected into the bodies of the scholars. Their goal...
This is dark, bro! This is freaking dark! What? It's just me, the real Sable, agreeing with this. This is not boring. Yeah, no, this is not boring. This is not boring. This is I mean, it's a lot of stuff to take in. Like, I doubt I'm gonna be able to remember all this, after watching this one time. But my gosh, bro, it's dark, bro. I was looking at my For You page, and what the heck is Sprunky? I don't know. I don't know what that is. All of Hollow Knight's dark. Yeah, all of it is. All of it is. Holy crap.
Was to achieve some kind of pure focus, which would somehow protect them from plagues of the mind. The scholar's leader, the Soul Master, was driven mad by the sheer power of Soul, and his entire sect failed to avoid infection.
Oh.
But hey, at least they took as many innocent people down with them as they could.
Yeah.
The Mantis tribe, showing a stronger will than the common bug, were able to stave off the infection. However, one of the 4 Mantis Lords turned against his sisters. He and his followers took in the infection willingly, as it gave them more strength and courage. At some point during all this, the Traitor Lord and his followers were exiled from the Mantis village, eventually taking up residence in the Queen's Gardens. The Traitor Lord's daughter ended up dying at some point. This is the same Mantis that was in a relationship with Zemir, one of the 5 Great Knights. But the Mantises rejected their union because...
First of all, I would have figured out it was Traitor Lord later on into the video. I would have figured it out. Second of all, why does this dude, Zemir, whatever his name is, he looks like, oh my gosh, I cannot think. Oh man, I literally just had it. It's some like dog. I don't know if it's like a fictional dog or like a real dog. I can't even think about it, bro. I can't even act. Yeah, we kind of spoiled it. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
of Zemir's outsideness. As a gamer, this type of prejudice is all too familiar, and honestly...
Is this actually... No, there's no way this is Mossbag. There's no... There's no way. Hey, W setup though. Hold on, you see Sonic?
But his castle wasn't the only noteworthy thing down there. At the bottom of the ancient basin was the entrance to a pit, known as the Abyss.
The Abyss.
Within the Abyss was a lake composed of void. The Pale King realized that this void could be given form, as evidenced by an imprint of such, deep within the Abyss, possibly left there by the ancient civilization that predated Hallownest.
I got stretched.
The Pale King devised a workshop in his palace, where he placed void in armor shells imbued with soul, creating servants known as King's Molds and Wing Molds. These void creatures were somehow imprinted with the desire of the Pale King, so that they would serve him. It isn't clear when the Pale King started making these creatures. There is evidence to imply that even common bugs were aware of King's Molds, but the point is, the Pale King turned to the void in order to create another creature, one that he believed could contain the Radiance and her infection. He tried to create a pure vessel.
Pure vessel?
The Radiance's infection needs its host to have a will and a mind in order to enslave it. A pure vessel would be a creature made of void, designed to lack those features. The Pale King believed that by harnessing the void inside a pure vessel, he would be able to stop the infection and keep Hallownest lasting eternal. But his method for creating this so-called pure vessel was incredibly cruel. This is where the White Lady and her King Kong-sized libido come into play. These two higher beings engaged in a union of some kind, resulting in the creation of several...
Some kind. Some kind. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna watch a Rith video to understand Sprunky. Man, I don't know what half of that sentence even is. I don't even know. I don't know what I just saw, but I already know this is weird as heck. Yeah, this is all weird. It's all weird. It's dark. It's a lot of stuff to take in, but just take it in.
Eggs that were dropped down into the abyss. There, the void seeped into these eggs, corrupting the offspring of the Pale King and the White Lady. This act resulted in the creation of the vessels.
Oh.
The vessels are not technically considered to be alive. They are shells created from the Pale King and White Lady that have been filled with the void. Within each vessel is a shade, a completely void being hidden behind the face of the vessel. Vessels are also non-gendered, I guess because they're dead or something? I'm not sure if that's how that works, but whatever. I'm not an expert on these kinds of things. I don't work at ICE anymore. Thousands of vessels were created during this process, but only one was chosen as the pure vessel. This particular vessel, chosen by the Pale King, was deemed the Hollow Knight, and was taken away to the White Palace. But I want to take a bit of a closer look at this part of the story. There are a number of questions and theories surrounding this moment that I really want to dig into. The big question surrounding this moment is, why was the Hollow Knight chosen over any other vessel? One common theory is that the Pale King took these vessels back to the White Palace and evaluated them using his giant collection of buzzsaws.
The Path of Pain! The Path of Pain! It's all connecting now!
Expenses.
It's all connecting now!
Fresh.
How to find the right car.
Bro, these freaking ads are getting on my nerves. How many ads?
Look at the car you like.
Yo, I know Mossbag has made so much money on this, but he has had so many ads, bro. So many ads. The Pale King liked his horns, yeah. That one was just the White Palace. Oh, this is just the White Palace? This isn't the Path of Pain? This isn't the Path of Pain? What?
Theory is probably the least likely explanation. It kinda exists just to explain the buzzsaws, which is quite the mystery, I'll admit.
No, this is definitely Path of Pain.
The vessels very well. How does being good at Super Meat Boy prove that you are a worthy vessel? And while thinking about logistics in a game about magic bugs is never a good idea, how exactly did the Pale King transfer these thousands of vessels to his palace without characters like the Dung Defender finding out? So this means that the Pale King probably made his decision without taking any of the vessels out of the Abyss. So how did the Pale King make his evaluation? I think the best explanation comes from a theory I originally heard from a user named Golden Flower Fan. Basically, the vessels were hatched down at the bottom of the Abyss, and the first one to make it to the top was chosen by the Pale King. In a memory of this event, we see vessels falling from above back down into the pit of the Abyss. Perhaps these vessels weren't being cast down into the Abyss, but fell while trying to escape out of it. The lore tablet outside the Abyss appears to support this theory. It reads, "Our pure vessel has ascended. Beyond lies only the refuse and regret of its creation. We shall enter that place no longer." This tablet was likely written right after the Hollow Knight was chosen, considering that is when the entrance to the Abyss was sealed off. The tablet proclaims that the pure vessel has ascended, or in other words, climbed out of the Abyss. And while cut content should never be considered canon, I would just like to point out that an earlier version of this tablet, found in the game's code, was even more explicit about this. It read, "From below, our pure vessel has ascended."
Yeah, that's pretty, that explained it pretty good right there. Just them few words, What is Skibbity Toilet? That's something with, what you call it, brain rot, yeah. The only new gen stuff that doesn't annoy me is the Skibbity Toilet, I don't know why. Alright, I'm gonna head over to Lunar Stream. Hey, tell him I said hello, and enjoy his stream.
But how does making it to the top of the Abyss first prove that the Hollow Knight is somehow a perfectly hollow vessel? Well, I think this whole concept might just be a misconception. What if the Hollow Knight wasn't any different from the other vessels? All the vessels were made in the exact same way after all. The idea that the Hollow Knight was somehow more hollow than the other vessels comes from the fact that there were so many vessels created in the first place. If they only needed one, then why create so goddamn many? I mean, this is like Octomom on steroids. It's so goddamn many.
Where's Waldo on the middle left? Wait, is there anything else hidden? No, I don't think there is. I think we're good.
I mean, this is like Octomom on steroids. Well, these are bugs we're talking about, so it would make sense that multiple offspring would come from one egg. And it might have been a precaution to produce multiple vessels in hopes that at least one would be able to successfully escape the Abyss. Now another explanation could be that the Pale King just yeeted other vessels that made it to the top first, after determining that they weren't hollow, which would better explain why so many were created. Ultimately, the exact details aren't super important, but I do find it interesting how many different interpretations can be pulled from this part of the lore. After the Hollow Knight was chosen, the Pale King sealed the doorway to the Abyss, leaving the discarded vessels to rot away in darkness. These actions were not taken lightly by the Pale King or the White Lady. Both participants expressed shame in what they did, but saw no other option to save the kingdom. But the vessels weren't the only poor saps sealed away in the Abyss. There's also a lighthouse that was built on top of a naturally formed spire. its light shining down on an ocean of abyss below. Inside was one of the Pale King's royal retainers, who was left in charge of keeping the lighthouse turned on. So this brave soul was willingly sealed in a dark and dangerous tomb for the rest of his life, just so he could not pull a lever. Well, at least he was living with purpose. With the abyss sealed and the Hollow Knight chosen, the Pale King's plan was beginning to come together. The Hollow Knight was raised and trained to prime form, causing it to grow several times its original size. We don't know exactly why this happened, but I guess the Hollow Knight is just a grower and not a shower. We know that the Hollow Knight was trained to use a nail, but why was this even necessary? One possible explanation is that the Hollow Knight needed to protect itself in case an intruder tried to kill it. You know, like the player. Or perhaps
I was literally just about to say, like us, if he didn't say that. We found water, hey! Let me know if you have any extra questions about Hollow Knight or his lore later, unless it has something to do with the secret areas. I got you. Sable, one fatal flaw in the Pale King's plan is that he spent time with the vessel, and the emotions showed after Path of Pain. Oh wow. I didn't think about that.
perhaps this was important in the process of containing the Radiance. Unfortunately, the details of that are never fully explained. The Hollow Knight might have somehow focused the Radiance inside itself, but Team Cherry gives us no explanation of how that might have worked. But that still wasn't enough for the Pale King. Additional seals were needed in order to protect the Hollow Knight's physical body while the Radiance was trapped inside of it. To achieve this, the Pale King sought the help of 3 particular bugs, who would later be known as the Dreamers. Lurien the Watcher, Motomon the Teacher, and Hera the Beast. Lurien is definitely the most mysterious of the 3 Dreamers. He lived in the Watcher Spire in the City of Tears. From there, Lurien watched over the city with his telescope. Lurien was a pretty big fan of the king, so it probably took little convincing for him to lie down for him. Lurien might also be tied to another strange incident that occurred in the City of Tears. Hidden on some of Lurien's lore tablets are images of jars, the same jars that can be found stockpiled in the Tower of Love. This building sits on the outskirts of the city, and is the setting of one of the most bizarre bosses in the game, the Collector. The Collector is a void construct that appears to have been made from the same mold
NSS Sleeker.
used to create.
I'm a bit sleepy. Today was a long day. Might just rest. See you tomorrow. Hey, see ya, Nico. See ya. Take care. Hope you have a good night's rest. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait, Alice is going too? Alright, see you later, Alice.
The king's
Take care.
molds. But the Collector is unique because, well,
Good grief, he's naked!
The Collector stayed in the Tower of Love with a noble bug who likely owned the establishment. In the tower, a number of bugs can be found captured in jars, implying that these two were tasked with collecting these creatures. However, the Collector somehow became obsessed with grubs, creating a map to keep track of grubs it captured in jars, as well as keeping a strange shrine displaying a grub in the style of the Vitruvian Man. Eventually, the bug staying with the Collector decided to lock it inside the Tower of Love, and fled to the Queen's Gardens, where it died, likely due to overexposure to the void. Despite being locked up in the tower, the Collector is still spotted by the Hunter at some point, which either means this only happened recently, or the Hunter has been farting around in Hallownest for a long-ass time. We have no idea what these creatures were trying to do. It's implied that the Collector was trying to preserve the creatures of Hallownest, perhaps trying to protect them from the spread of the infection, but we don't know where the Collector's obsession with grubs originated, and while Lurien does seem connected to all of this, we don't know how involved he was with this operation, or what its end goal exactly was. Motomon the Teacher lived in the Teacher's Archives, a library built atop a lake of acid in the Fog Canyon. The lower half of her body consists of tentacles, making her a popular subject for the thriving Hollow Knight R34 community.
Oh, wow.
The archive.
Chat, I know you guys are already getting ideas. Don't load that up. This is probably the best Collector impression I've heard. Woohoo! Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. Okay, now that I'm actually, trying, I can't do it. Woohoo! Yeah, no, I can't do it. Would. You know what, peeps? I understand.
And the Fog Canyon as a whole, are also filled with these strange Metroid knockoffs. These creatures are likely related to Monomon in some way. They could be her live offspring, her test tube babies, or possibly even her shit. Motomon uses futuristic cathode ray tube things to store information about Halonest. Several terminals in the teacher's archive go into detail about the Pale King's plan to defeat the Radiants, indicating that Motomon had intimate knowledge of what she was taking part in. Finally, the Pale King sought the help of Hera the Beast, the Queen of Deep Nest. Now, as I mentioned earlier, relations between Halonest and Deep Nest were kinda not great. Unlike the other two dreamers, Hera needed to be convinced in order to help the Pale King. Hera would eventually agree to become a dreamer, in exchange for a child. The Pale King agreed, and the two engaged in a dalliance, which is a fancy way of saying they totally boned.
Woo!
The White Lady...
Wait, whoa. The Pale King, man. Holy crap, Pale King. Whoa. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. Oh, I'll help you. If you bang me, like, what the heck? I knew that was coming. I forgot the Hornet is considered the princess of Deep Nest. Oh, really? I did not know that.
Was okay with this arrangement. In fact, she might have been watching from the closet. The motive behind Hera's request is never elaborated on, but it appears as though the King of Deep Nest was dead at this point. Hera was a common bug, so perhaps she desired the Pale King's pale seed so that her child could be of high birth. The bargain between Hera and the Pale King resulted in the birth of Hornet.
It was freaking Hornet. Oh my god. She was recording? I'm so sorry, I just had to. Oh no, hold on. I need to do some research.
She became known as the gendered child, because unlike the Pale King's other children, Hornet was not hollowed out by the Abyss. Hera and Hornet spent little time together, as Hera had to make good on her end of the bargain. And so the three dreamers were put to rest. Through their actions, a seal was placed over the black egg, prohibiting entrance into the chamber. These dreamers also had their own protection. At the base of Lurian's spire, the Watcher Knights guarded access to their master's body. Motomon's body was protected by a giant jellyfish named Umu. On top of this, Motomon entrusted her servant Quirrell with a mask which would be required to break an additional seal she had placed over herself. So she basically is double wrapping herself. As for Hera, we're not really sure what protected her, since it is never actually seen in-game. We don't know where this creature is hiding, but whoever it is, they really suck at their job. Now there appears to be one more element to the Pale King's plan, involving the Weavers. Hidden away in the Weaver's den is an incomplete seal of binding, woven from silk. This design probably features the Hollow Knight's head, and can be found in the White Palace, as well as blocking the exit during the Hollow Knight fight. Silk spools created by the Weavers can be found in the Stag Station in Deep Nest, as well as the Stag Station next to the White Palace. These spools can also be found in the Pale King's workshop. We know that the Weavers were closely tied to Hera and Hornet, so their actions might have been a part of the deal between the Pale King and Hera. Once the Hollow Knight was ready, the Radiance was somehow channeled into the vessel, which was then placed inside of a giant black egg located in the Forgotten Crossroads. This egg was built to sustain the Hollow Knight, and itself appears to be fashioned from void. The Hollow Knight was chained up, and the entrance to the black egg was locked behind a powerful seal created by the three dreamers. Initially, this convoluted plan actually worked, and the infection was successfully contained. Memorials to the Hollow Knight and the dreamers were erected in the City of Tears and the resting grounds.
Red Bull
all
Zero.
right.
Zero
No,
sugar,
Sable, do not do research.
with monk fruit extract.
Do not do research. You know
Having
what?
a partner is huge. Finding someone you can trust is what really builds the business from the base.
Yeah, no, I don't care. You know what? I just realized. I now understand why, like whenever I did my initial playthrough, I now understand why people were saying Hornet is like my half sister. I don't know why I just thought about that. Duh, now. Uwu is one of my least favorite bosses to do, and God, I like how you call him Uwu. It's Red Bull Zero because I want 0 cans of it. Exactly, Granite, exactly.
But this is the part of the story where things get a little bit hazy. By the time these statues were constructed, citizens had taken to writing on parchment woven from spider silk, which was all destroyed when water started pouring down onto the city. We don't know how long the Hollow Knight was able to completely contain the infection. Bugs from Dirtmouth used to go to the Temple of the Black Egg to pray, saying they felt at peace within the walls. But after a while, they stopped going, perhaps indicating that the infection was beginning to leak out again. The infectious air continued to seep through Halnest for years, eventually even reaching the deepest parts of the kingdom. As it turns out, the Pale King's pure vessel wasn't quite so pure after all. The Hollow Knight had been tarnished by an idea instilled. While the game never explicitly tells us what that idea was, it does hint strongly at what it might be. Hidden away in the White Palace is a memory showing the Hollow Knight and the Pale King sharing a moment. The Hollow Knight might have developed a parental bond to the Pale King.
Oh.
And who could blame it? The Pale King is a pretty great dad after all. You know, if you ignore the infanticide and everything. Remember those smug mushroom dickheads? Well, it turns out their trust in the Pale King was a complete mistake. That shared mind isn't looking too good now, is it? In the fungal core, the corpse of a giant mushroom lies dormant. Its final thoughts were, "Pale worm, what good to see a demise unavoidable?" This could imply that the Pale King always knew that his kingdom was doomed. All he could do was delay the inevitable. This is likely the moment when Halnest, as it once was, entirely collapsed. The Hollow Knight had not completely stopped the infection, and while it may have taken a while, Halnest was eventually brought low. It's at this point that characters and areas begin to resemble as we know them in-game. When it became clear that the Hollow Knight was not able to contain the Radiance, the Pale King resorted to his final plan. He fucked off, hiding himself, his White Palace, and his Pale Court in the Dream World.
He became a deadbeat dad. He went to get the milk and did not return. Oh wow. And if you do, you need to share that with the class. Don't do that. Okay, I got you. Sable, I explained a lot of this. Well, it's different, you know, hearing it like in video being explained like in depth versus like someone just saying something like a sentence or two. It's different. It's different.
At this point, all of the furniture in the palace was covered under white sheets, similar to how people in the real world cover their furniture while away on long trips. The palace was also completely covered with thorns and buzzsaws, similar to how people in the real world cover their houses with thorns and buzzsaws.
Of course.
The Pale King would eventually pass away while sitting on his throne in the White Palace. There's no confirmation. There are a few things to consider.
My man went out like Elvis. Died on the toilet.
The throne room is incredibly dark compared to the rest of the palace, and the particle effects and ambient track in this room are identical to that of the Abyss. All of the king's molds surrounding the Pale King are dead. The ancient basin itself also has become stained with the presence of void, as it can be seen as high as the rundown elevator shaft leading back to the city. Remember that bug that was sealed away in the Abyss to make sure the lighthouse wasn't turned off? Well, the lighthouse was turned off.
Yeah.
I guess that whole living with purpose thing is a crock of shit after all. It seems as though the Sea of Void itself actually convinced this bug to betray his king and turn off the lighthouse. Now
My name is Johnny Cochran. Tiny was good. Welcome back. Yeah, you missed quite a bit. You missed quite a bit. That's literally my house. How did he get that picture? Going to ask Mossbag that. He knows everything.
The city of Tears weren't faring much better. Even if we ignore the fact that the infection was still around, there were other issues that helped lead to the city's downfall. Due to the gates being sealed, some bugs resorted to cannibalism in order to avoid starvation.
Oh.
And there's also that metric fuckton of corpses lining the walls of the Soul Sanctum.
Eat 'em.
When all was said and done, the only citizen left standing is Eternal Emelita, who just laughs her ass off about it like she's a fucking Dark Souls character. The White Lady ends up in a cocoon deep within the Queen's gardens. She decided to place bindings on herself in order to keep her from spreading her seed. She claims that this is because of the shame she feels in helping the Pale King create the vessels. But honestly, it's probably just her kink. The White Lady also diminished her power, possibly as a way to keep herself hidden from unwanted visitors. Outside her cocoon, Drya stood guard, protecting her queen from the violent traitor mantises. Drya is eventually killed off by these bugs, which is actually pretty pathetic if you think about it. I mean, we're talking like the Netgear WPN824N N150 wireless router pathetic. Speaking of great knights dying pathetically, let's move on to Hagemul. Hagemul held the city crest, a key used to open one of the gates to the City of Tears. At some point, Hagemul's armor shell was stolen by a maggot. Now, maggots were generally looked down upon and forced to do menial labor. They were incredibly weak, and basically deserved all of the discrimination they got.
Dang.
But this one maggot decided to turn the tide, so he stole Hagemul's shell so that he could defend his downtrodden brothers.
Oh.
His actions weren't motivated by the infection, but instead was the result of how hierarchical caste systems will always lead to revolution from the working class, and that true freedom can only be achieved blah blah blah, capitalism is bad, subscribe to my Patreon. Ogre moved to the Royal Waterways and started living in shit, changing his name to Dung Defender. Now, I love wallowing in shit as much as the next guy, but you'd have to really love shit to put up with living with the flukes. The Dung Defender kept an unwavering sense of duty and loyalty to the king, and love for his fellow knights.
Another ad. Another ad. Another ad.
Beautify your slime?
Bro, I do not care about slime. Bro, what is this, 2016?
So squishy, so fine, so many to find. Gooey gooey, each sold
I
separately.
could even skip this, bro. This is on the skippable ad.
No, the
Fantastic Four. Let's just skip it. Let's just skip it. What's the counter? I don't even know what it's at this point. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Ad counter 13. My ad's 3. Gotcha. Boy, how are you enjoying this lore, Sable? Sable. Oh yeah, pretty nice lore. I mean, yeah, it's decent. I'm not chatting because I'm too immersed. That's exactly how I am. Granted, that's why I'm not even talking that much. I'm literally like immersed in it. I'm trying to take it all in as much as I can. That's why I'm not pausing like every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds, just to comment or say something. Like I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
So that he made shit statues of them. How nice. Ogrim acted as the defender of the pipeways, as well as Isma's Grove. A section of the Royal Waterways became filled with acid, and in the middle of it all rests Isma's corpse, which has been overcome by plant life. Isma is likely the one responsible for this acid blight, but we have no idea what happened to her. Hornet's whereabouts during this time are fairly mysterious. We know that she departed Deep Nest and didn't return until the events of the game. At some point, she took to guarding Halnest from intruding warriors, as well as the cast-off shell in the Kingdom's Edge. Despite the Kingdom's woes at large, fortunately this fate did not befall one of the fandom's favorite characters. The Menderbugs continued to fix the broken signs and wayposts of Halnest. From a diary entry, we can see that one Menderbug in particular had found himself on the precipice of a long and loving relationship.
Hello again, diary. Not long now until the next Minder Bash. For us stealthy types, we're a riotous bunch when we get together, and Minderberry kept flashing me that smile. It might be time to muster my courage and act on it. I love my home and my life, but sharing it with another? Why, that'd be the berry on top.
Green Path.
What do these Menderbugs be doing? What the? Oh no. They some freaky bugs.
Also underwent some changes during this time. The Mosskin were waiting for Un's call, which would bring them back into the dream they were originally born from. But for some reason, Un's strength deteriorated. We don't know why this happened exactly, Was it due to the White Lady claiming part of her kingdom? Was it somehow due to the infection? Some Mosskin believe that Un went into hiding, but it appears as though Un is, in fact, calling to her children. But many of the Mosskin are unable to hear her call. Instead, many Mosskin seem to have taken the Radiance's infection into their leaves, which might explain why Greenpath became overgrown with vegetation despite Un's deteriorating powers. Mossy vagabonds even openly chose to forsake Un and worship the Radiance. Another tribe to be screwed over by the Radiance is the Hive, which fell to the infection after the death of their leader, Hive Queen Vespa. But it appears as though this had little effect on their civilization. The Radiance's hive mind was already familiar to the bees, since the Hive probably operated under something similar already. So in other words, the Hive probably made out the best in this whole situation. Let's turn our attention back to the moths. After all, it's their god that keeps killing everybody. Well, the moth tribe didn't fare too well actually, as pretty much the entire tribe died out. The only known survivor is the Seer.
The Seer?
Despite the loss of her tribe, the Seer continued to tend to the graves in the resting grounds. While
You know, I actually just thought about that. Yeah, a lot of them did die off because you don't see many mobs. I just thought about other than like Radiance and Seer. I mean, who else? I don't think anybody else. I don't think so. I don't think so. Connect to investors. Those ads, man. Those ads sucks. Those ads sucks. They getting freaky without me. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And a huge graveyard. Yep.
Also awaiting the arrival of the Wielder, a mysterious being that her tribe has dreamt of for a while. In the Kingdom's Edge, the land became covered in ash molting off of the worm's decomposing corpse. The Colosseum of Fools continued to thrive. The Lord Fool passed away at some point, but nobody really seems to notice or even care. The fools inside the Colosseum were infected, but still seem to have maintained control over themselves. It seems possible that these bugs took in the infection willingly, similar to the Traitor Lord and his followers. This would have given them an edge in combat, similar to using steroids, but without the whole shrinking testicles thing. However, even the Traitor Lord and his followers went mad, so what makes these fools any more special? As for the Pale King's champion, the Pale Lurker, well, she just went the normal kind of insane. There appears to have been another unforeseen event with the Pale King's plan. When the Hollow Knight was originally chosen, the door to the Abyss was sealed, trapping the discarded vessels within. But apparently, some vessels didn't get the memo. Vessel corpses can be found littered throughout the kingdom. There's one in the Ancient Basin, one in Greenpath, and several trapped in Nosk's lair in Deep Nest.
Ooh.
Another vessel that escaped from the Abyss is the player character, the Knight. The exact details on how the vessels escaped the Abyss is unclear. There are indications that they might have slipped into Deep Nest through some old passageway, given void influences in part of the area, and all the corpses found in Nosk's lair. At some point, all entrances to Hollow Nest were closed off, with the old well and Earthmouth being the only way to sneak back in. Despite this, several people have wormed their way into the kingdom, with few ever returning. Characters like Relic Seeker Lem seem content to just pillage artifacts from the ruined kingdom, but other bugs seemed interested in something greater. In the Howling Cliffs rests the corpse of a member of the Grim Troop. The task of this bug appears to have been to seek out Hallownest, so that the troop might be summoned to the kingdom in the future. The Grim Troop are basically a group of bugs that serve a higher being known as the Nightmare Heart.
Wait. Was that bug in the game before, like, the Troop Master Grim DLC? Were they hinting at the Troop Grim Master DLC, or was it, you know, in the game after DLC? I don't know. Save, I realized that when I use the mini Radiant skin in a mod, literally called Custom Knight, it reskins the whole Azrad fight to a Pale King fight with the same attacks. That's actually cool. You know what time you need to start uploading some videos. I need to see all this stuff. For sure. The Lurker is so fast and then stuns you with the things she throws at you. Huh. Wait, have I felt the Lurker? I can't remember. Wait, what Lurker are you talking about? I don't even know.
The troop keeps the heart alive by feeding on the nightmares of fallen kingdoms. This process also involves sacrificing the Troop Master to his own child because... Hey, look at this cool-ass boss battle. Another important group that traveled to Hallownest are the God Seekers. After being abandoned by their old gods, the gods of thunder and the gods of rain, these bugs left their home in the land of storms, seeking out a new god to worship. The god seekers looked to gods to save them from their own silent mind. While traveling through the wastelands, the god seekers constructed devices called god tuners, which helped them seek out new gods. Through this device, they were able to detect the lingering power of the Pale King and find their way to Hallownest. When they arrived, however, the god seeker was forced into hibernation. She was encased in a strange sarcophagus-like cocoon, which was itself chained up with a lock. It's not clear how this forced hibernation worked, seeing as the cocoon appears to have been made by the god seeker herself. As for who put the cocoon in chains, I think the most likely candidate is the Dung Defender, considering how the God-Seeker's cocoon is found in the junk pit in the waterways, an area the Dung Defender has tasked himself with protecting.
Dang, Dung Defender is... he's involved in a lot of stuff, low-key. What the heck? What the heck? Yeah, man, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's welcome? What's good? It's very annoying, but not that hard. What's not? Oh, Pale Lurker is annoying. Pale Lurker. I can't even remember what the Pale Lurker fight was. Oh, let me actually look that up right quick. Let me look that up right quick. The Pale Lurker. Pale Lurker. Pale Lurker. Yeah, you know what? I do not remember this fight at all, dude. I actually do not. I do not remember that fight at all. That is actually nuts. That is actually nuts.
This was the general picture of Hallownest after the Hollow Knight was sealed inside the Temple of the Black Egg. The kingdom was stuck in a kind of stasis, with the Pale King civilization destroyed and the Radiants unable to break free from her chains. The Pale King was rebelling against nature, trying to keep his work standing indefinitely. The stasis over Hallownest held for an age. How long is that exactly? Well, we have no idea. As I'm sure you've noticed, there really isn't a timeline for anything that happens in this game. We also have no idea how long any of these bugs can actually live. Elderbug wasn't around to see the Stagways open, but we know several other characters were, implying that Elderbug is probably one of the youngest characters in the whole game. But this stasis over Hallownest wasn't going to last forever. At some point, the Radiance erupted out of the Hollow Knight, cracking its shell, and releasing a loud and powerful roar. The amount of infection leaking out of the Hollow Knight became even greater. The many corpses that lined the roads and cities of the kingdom sprang to life with the amplified power of the infection. This strengthened infection prompted the departure of the Weavers back to their old home. Now this old home might actually be Farloom, the kingdom in which Hollow Knight Silksong takes place.
Hey!
But the amount of knowledge we have about Silksong right now is pathetic.
Dang, holy crap, man, after playing so much of like Hollow Knight and just seeing like the difference was, yo, this game looks beautiful. This game is beautiful. Got to bounce later, guys. Hey, see you later, boy. Take care, take care, take care. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. I didn't know Dung Defender was grim before watching Mossbag lore video. I know, man. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Knight Silksong takes place.
Look at the background.
But the amount of knowledge we have about Silksong right now is pathetic, so I'm not saying that's confirmed or anything. This is also around the time that Quirrell arrives back in Hallownest.
Hey.
His memory of Monomon appears to have been clouded due to his time outside of Hallownest. These events are depicted in the Quirrell prequel comic, which also shows an image of the Hollow Knight with a pre-cracked shell. This could mean that Quirrell's arrival happens roughly the same time the Hollow Knight's shell cracks. At around the same time Quirrell arrives in Hallownest, we also see the arrival of the player character, who is commonly referred to as the Knight. The Knight was one of the lucky vessels that was able to make its way out of the abyss.
Stubby toes.
Somehow the Knight ended up venturing beyond Hallownest and into the wilds beyond. It's implied that the Knight was called to Hallownest by either the sealed Hollow Knight or the Radiants within. Regardless, once the Knight shows up and yeets itself off this cliff, the actual game of Hollow Knight finally begins. Now, there's a lot of details we could get into. Hallownest is full of NPCs and bosses, each with their own stories to tell. But to be honest, I don't think we need to go through all of them, since their stories are relatively straightforward. For example, let's look at the Brooding Moloch.
God, PTSD, bro. My first Still Soul run, man. Oh, man. Hey, Hollow Knight, welcome back. Came back because I can't sleep right now, and I'm bored as F. Well, hey, we're glad to have you here. Glad to have you here.
Why is the Brooding Moloch brooding? Because all its friends are dead.
Oh, wow.
And there you go. That's the lore for the Brooding Moloch. Also, it's the only character in the game with a visible asshole.
Oh!
Now, did you really need me to explain that to you?
Yeah, actually I did. That was a well-placed ad, actually.
Probably not. So instead, I'm just going to talk about the interactions relating to Hollow Knight's main story.
Whoa, that is some... Okay, I did not know you could go like back and forth with the pogo in there and Lost Kin. Oh, wow. Let's see, I'm learning strats. I'm not even playing the game, bro.
The knight is eventually noticed by Hornet, who lures it deep into Greenpath. There, Hornet attempts to kill the knight, claiming that she knows what it would try to do. At this point, Hornet views the knight as being too weak. After the fight, Hornet can be found in the City of Tears, next to the statue of the Hollow Knight. Hornet mentions that the knight has gained a resilience, due to the time it spent in the void beyond Hallownest. This could be referring to the fact that some of those who leave Hallownest lose their memories, meaning the knight would have no memories of its own tragic conception. Hornet tells the knight that if it seeks to continue the stasis that keeps Hallownest standing, it must seek the Graven Ash, which is referring to the Kingdom's Edge. At this moment, Hornet sees the knight as a possible replacement for the Hollow Knight. Basically, the knight could break the seals that keep the Hollow Knight locked away, defeat the Hollow Knight, and contain the infection itself. It's at this point that I should mention that Hollow Knight actually has 5 different endings, because of course it would. I'm going to be explaining each of these endings in this video, as they each give us a different glimpse into the mechanics of Hollow Knight's world.
Let's go!
Now, to get the easiest ending to Hollow Knight, Hornet's instructions to go to the Kingdom's Edge can be ignored completely. If the knight stumbles upon the resting grounds, the 3 dreamers will appear and cast the knight into the dream realm. There, Seer will come to the knight's rescue and grant it the Dream Nail, a special blade that can tear the veil between the real world and the dream world. With the Dream Nail, the knight can venture to the resting places of the 3 dreamers, curb stomp their asses, and unlock the entrance to the Black Egg. Inside the egg, the knight finds the Hollow Knight chained up, silently watching over it. Once the chains are broken, the Hollow Knight screams with that familiar Radiance roar and pursues the knight. As the fight progresses, the Hollow Knight starts trying to kill itself, Quirrell style. But then the Radiance starts using the Hollow Knight's body to perform her own attacks. Once defeated, the Hollow Knight begins to spew infection all over the place. The knight can then focus the infection into itself. This results in the first ending of the game, called Hollow Knight. In this ending, the knight usurps the Hollow Knight, prolonging the stasis over Hallownest. New chains and bindings appear out of fuck if I know, and contain the knight, and a new seal is placed over the entrance to the Black Egg. Now there is one giant question looming over this ending. Can the knight actually contain the infection indefinitely, or will the Radiant still manage to break free one day? Before we answer this question, let's look at some of the other events that can transpire while playing the game.
I'm going to predict he can. I'm just going to predict it. The knight is pretty powerful. I think he can contain it. I think he can. I can't wait to explore Farloom, a city haunted by Silk and Song. Song. I can't see it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
If the player chooses to go to Kingdom's Edge, Hornet will challenge the knight one last time as a final test of strength. After her defeat, Hornet allows the knight to access the cast-off shell, where the Pale King was originally hatched. By interacting with this egg, the knight's shell is marked with the king's brand, technically making the knight the new ruler of Hallownest.
Hey!
With the king's brand, the knight can now open the entrance to the Abyss and discover the place of its birth. When leaving the Abyss, the knight can encounter Hornet again, where for the first time, Hornet suggests that there are actually 2 outcomes the knight can enact. She tells the knight that it can either prolong Hallownest stasis, or face the heart of the kingdom's infection.
Right.
Within the knight, Hornet sees a chance for change. Instead of just replacing the Hollow Knight, Hornet believes that it may be possible to get rid of the infection completely by using the void inside of the knight. After visiting the Abyss and obtaining the Shade Cloak, the knight is capable of reaching the White Lady, hidden away in the Queen's Gardens. The White Lady tells the knight that she has been awaiting a vessel to accept a gift, that gift being 1/2 of a charm called the King's Soul, which she claims will give the knight more power. The White Lady goes on to explain that she can feel the weakening of the Hollow Knight within her roots. She tells the knight that it is free of the blemishes that made the Hollow Knight a flawed vessel. From this dialogue, it is implied that the knight truly is a pure vessel, capable of containing the radiance successfully. But it's not quite that simple, so we're going to have to dig a bit deeper into this. Basically, we're going to need to answer a simple question. What exactly does it mean to be a Hollow Knight? Despite the White Lady's words, we have a number of instances where the characters and item descriptions mention that the knight has a will, and maybe even a mind. But from the Pale King's dialogue when describing the Hollow Knight, it is stated that a pure vessel has no mind or will. So is the White Lady wrong? Or maybe even lying? Her eyes have been clouded by time, and she can be tricked into thinking that Ogrim is in the room when the knight is wearing the Defender's Crest charm. She also thinks that Dryia is still alive, which,
She dead! She dead!
So maybe the White Lady is just senile. My problem with that theory is that the White Lady states that the vessels stand out to her clearly in a misted world, due to them being her spawn. She also questions whether or not the knight sought her aid, which would imply that the knight must have some kind of will. So for whatever reason the White Lady thinks the knight is still capable of containing the radiance, even if it's still able to make decisions. After all, the Hollow Knight was considered pure, but they still taught it how to wield a fucking sword. I mean, if the knight were truly and completely hollow in a literal sense, it probably shouldn't even be able to walk, or draw a map, or open a goddamn bank account. In short, this whole concept of being hollow is so abstract and hard to define, I don't really feel comfortable giving a solid answer on whether or not the knight is or isn't truly hollow, and I think the game leaves room open for other interpretations. Of course, the White Lady's gift is used.
I'm gonna say this. I think, here's my theory, I think the player, the knight, is hollow. Let me tell you why. The game is called Hollow Knight. Think about it. Is the game called The Knight? No. It's called Hollow Knight. Think about it. Oh my gosh, I just put myself in my eye. That's what I get. Crazy theory. I know. I'm just saying. But that refers to the Hollow Knight, or it refers to us. Woo.
Useless without the other half of the King's Soul. In order to reach it, however, the knight must travel to the White Palace, locked inside the body of a King's Mold. In order to bypass the seal, the knight must use a fully awakened Dream Nail. It can do this by bringing 1800 essence to the seer, allowing her to sharpen the weapon's blade. If the knight does this, the seer remarks that the knight truly is the wielder that her tribe has been dreaming of. There's no explicit reason why the Moth tribe was dreaming about this supposed wielder so much, but it seems like they believe the wielder would wash away the crimes the Moth tribe committed by turning their backs on the Radiance. The seer seems to know that the knight might kill the Radiance, and she seems accepting of it, ready for her and her tribe to disappear and be forgotten forever. With the awoken Dream Nail in hand, the knight can travel to the Pale King's refuge and locate the other half of the King's Soul charm. When equipped, the King's Soul provides a never-ending supply of soul, making it almost useful if it weren't for the insanely high cost of the charm, and the painfully slow rate at which it increases, and the fact that the charm will get replaced in about 5 minutes after you get it. The King's Soul charm itself symbolizes the union between two higher beings. To me, this implies that the King's Soul is a representation of a vessel, which also was created by the union of two higher beings. With the King's Soul in their inventory, the knight now gains access to an area in the abyss called the Birthplace. In this massive pile of vessel shells, the knight can find a giant egg. Dream nailing the egg allows the knight to access its own memory when it was cast down into the abyss. From viewing that memory, the King's Soul charm is replaced with the Void Heart charm. The recollection of this event allows the knight to come to terms with the void inside itself. Once the knight has the Void Heart, the shades in the abyss no longer attack it, and that strange creature that gives the knight the Shade Cloak calls it the Lord of Shades. In other words, the knight...
So basically, we saw it really happen. We saw the previous memories, and we just turned emo. I mean, yeah. Are you hollow? I don't know. Consider my flabbers aghast. What a crazy theory, Sample. If there's a UR and there's a aren't, and then that applies to the existence of a you aren't. You know what, Tiny? You might be on to something. You actually might be on to something.
It has now bound the once fragmented void under its own will, allowing it to control the void in a powerful new way. With the union of the void, the Pale King, and the White Lady, the Knight has gained a strength before unseen. It is with this charm that 2 additional endings become unlocked. Hornet will now be standing outside of the Black Egg, offering to help the Knight should the opportunity arrive. Midway through the fight with the Hollow Knight, Hornet rushes into battle, subduing the Hollow Knight and piercing its shell. It's at this point that the Knight is given the perfect opportunity to enter into the mind of its sibling, finding the source of the infection head-on, and finally putting an end to the Radiance's tyranny. Or it can just stand there and let Hornet get knocked unconscious. If the Knight finishes off the Hollow Knight as usual, the sealed sibling ending occurs. Basically, it's the same as the Hollow Knight ending, but now Hornet is in the room too, and her face appears on the door of the Black Egg. It's not clear what exactly this means for Hallownest. This might imply that Hornet is now a dreamer, but she's inside the temple, meaning that no one can actually get in there to kill her should the Knight ever start leaking infection. At the same time, Hornet mentions that the bindings of the Black Egg would drain her, so she's probably just going to die anyway, right? Generally, people consider this to be one of the worst endings, but it's worth pointing out that Team Cherry doesn't support any one ending.
All endings are equally canon. We're not into the true endings. You choose the path yourself. We'll do our best in all future Hollow Knight content to account for all of them. Artie Gibson. Alright, so look, anybody saying there's this the true ending? No, this the true ending. It's right here. Right here. No true ending. No true ending. No true ending. A dreamer. Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that. I definitely see why that ending is the worst. What? Hornet is just dead for no reason. She is locked in there with us for literally no reason. Yep.
As being the true ending. Each ending is canonical in its own right, and honestly, this ending isn't the worst. At least the Knight and Hornet will get to spend some quality time together. If the Knight does dream nail the Hollow Knight, it will be taken to an arena where it can finally fight the Radiance head-on. But the Knight isn't alone, as the other shades from the Abyss will appear in order to help corner the Radiance.
Hey!
Eventually the Radiance gets trapped in the tendrils of the Void. The Knight bitch slaps her a couple times, and then the Radiance is consumed into the darkness. The Black Egg then appears to turn to shadows and the Void seeps down into the ground. Hornet awakens to find the Knight's broken shell lying on the floor. We get one final shot of the shades in the Abyss going to rest, and the game is over. This ending is called the Dream No More ending. The Radiance is gone, and Hallownest is finally free from her infection.
Sound pretty good right there.
To ask a few questions about how the Dream No More ending comes about. When the Hollow Knight was initially chosen to become the pure vessel, the Abyss was sealed up, and the rest of the vessels were left to rot away. But somehow, vessels ended up outside of the Abyss, and then one of those vessels was used to replace the Hollow Knight. Exactly how much of this operation was planned, if at all? The White Lady was waiting for a vessel. Did she have any communication with Hornet? Hornet was guarding the King's Brand, the only way for a vessel to enter the Abyss. How did she know it was necessary to guard the King's Brand from weaker vessels? Hell, if the vessels did escape the Abyss by themselves, wouldn't it be pointless to guard the King's Brand, since the vessels could just creep back into the Abyss the same way? I'm not going to provide any good answers to these questions, because God forbid I answer anything in this entire video.
Oh,
but I do
want bro. I'm about to see what these questions are. Tiny is the new map pap. What do you say? Hornet Dreamer? Hornet is like tutorial? Tutorial. Sounds like tutorial. Tutorial. Something that there is in Cuphead. Cuphead has good music. Music. Like a song. Sizzle. Tiny, that is actually a skill that you were able to somehow connect Hornet Dreamer with, well, Hornet Dreamer, well, all the stuff that you did and able to tie it back to Silksong. That's a skill right there.
Questions.
Let's see these questions.
Because God forbid I answer any.
Why did the White Lady get around? Why are the infected bugs in the Coliseum mindless? What's the deal with pale beings? Is this commentary on race or something? Did Orgrim give Isma a dirty Sanchez? I don't even know what a dirty Sanchez is. I don't think I want to look that up. How did the Hollow Knight grow? Why does the Collector probably diddle grow?
Entire video.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
Any good answers to these questions? Because God forbid I answer anything in this.
Wait, you know what I just realized? Man, This video came out like what, like 5 years ago? My man using Diddle. He was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time.
Tired.
Where's Deep Net Boss? Seriously, what the F? A bad game design. You know what? That Deep Net, it was Nosk. It was Nosk. Nosk was just in the wrong place at the right time. That's all it was. Why is unstrength decreasing? Why are we here?
Video.
Just to suffer? Basically, yeah. Ad counter 14. My ad's 5. Sable, I'm sad to say this one was canceled and now it's called Squirrel Quest. Squirrel Quest. QQ. I like the ring. I like it.
But I do want to point out that no plans to actually produce the Dream No More ending are explicitly stated in-game. So we can only speculate as to whether or not the White Lady or Hornet, or maybe even the Pale King, knew that they could defeat the Radiants by creating a Lord of Shades like the Knight. Regardless, the next 2 endings were definitely not planned. In fact, the last 2 endings that were added in the Godmaster update almost feel out of place. The Godseekers basically hijack everything to the point where you don't even have to enter the Temple of the Black Egg to beat the game. That's like beating Mario Bros without ever seeing Bowser.
You just said Mario, bro. I gotta unsubscribe from. I gotta freaking unsubscribe. Oh my gosh, not the Mario Bros. Not the Oh man, there are sounds in the collector room before you open the door.
But on the other hand, the Godmaster endings basically reinforce that Hollow Nest does not exist in a vacuum, which can help the world of Hollow Knight feel more real.
Hey, Gris, welcome back, man.
Because what else is reality but just a bunch of random chaotic stuff happening all the time? If the Knight finds the Godseeker in the junk pit, it will be able to enter her mind and refight all the bosses in the game. This is part of the Godseeker's ritual. They basically attune to the resonance of gods through ritual combat. This allows them to ascend their minds higher, and eventually, through the use of godly focus, achieve communication with the gods sleeping in Hollow Nest's heart, the Radiance.
Absolutely.
Now I know what you're thinking. That's a pretty convoluted little religious practice they have going on here. What's next? Are they going to start measuring the Knight's Theon levels? It's pretty complicated, but the point is, these Godseekers have some serious capabilities to fuck things up in Hollow Nest, as we're about to see. As the Knight makes it further and further through the 4 Pantheons, the Godseekers get closer and closer to making contact with the Radiance, locked away inside the Hollow Knight. At the end of the 4th Pantheon, the Radiance makes herself aware in this strange reunion cutscene between the vessels. But she isn't the only one to make an appearance. The Void itself appears to go on the attack, rising up to meet the Radiance's call. It's at this point that the final challenge, the Pantheon of Hollow Nest, becomes available. The Godseeker finally acknowledges the Knight as being more than just a simple cringer, and they begin to watch the Knight more intently.
Cringer?
After defeating like a bazillion bosses in the final Pantheon, the Knight finally comes face to face with the Absolute Radiance, a stronger, more enhanced version of the game's final boss. Finally, the stage is set. After roughly 40 minutes of intense agony and tedious boss battles, the Knight...
40 minutes? Try an hour, bro. Try an hour. How are you all? Hey, we're doing great, man. We're doing great. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Can you see my owner, Jin Woo, sir? See your owner, Jin Woo, sir. What? I do like the PFP, though. I do like the PFP.
has finally reached the ultimate enemy, responsible for the destruction of Hollow Nest. Truly, this will be a battle for the ages. But first, let's check in on our old pal Menderbug. As it turns out, he's still alive when the Knight arrives in Hollow Nest, and he's still fulfilling his duty after all this time. Let's take one last look at his diary.
My lovely diary. Someone's gone and broke my favorite sign, right there at the top of the crossroads. Keeps happening too, but you know, I just can't get mad about it. I should be thanking them, really. More chances to fix that beautiful, complex sign, and I've stocked up on spare parts, so I've no fear it'll ever stay broken for long.
Unfortunately,
Menderbug.
The only way to ever read the Menderbug's diary is to kill him in cold blood. I'm not sure why Team Cherry thought this was necessary, but the general consensus on Reddit is that they are bloodthirsty warmongers, so it checks out. But at least Menderbug's last moments will be spent fixing one of his favorite signs in the Forgotten Crossroads.
Dang.
It's comforting to think that his final seconds of consciousness were spent in total bliss, before we sent him hurtling into the infinite chasm that is Oblivion.
Hey, you know what? He went out like a G, man. He went out like a G. He went out doing what he loved to do. I mean, I think that's the best way to go out, honestly. I agree. I agree. Hey, B, welcome back. Luna played Grow Garden. He found out why you refused to play it. Yeah, that game, it's just, it's boring. It's boring. At least to me. At least to me, it's just boring.
Well, anyways. The alternate fight between the Knight and the Radiance plays out differently than in the vanilla ending. This time around, the Knight is not accompanied by any shades.
Oh, he made it look so
after
easy.
defeating the Radiance, the Knight seems to transform into this monstrosity. Now this creature goes by many names. The God of Gods, the Lord Shade, the Devourer, the Void Entity. But I don't really like any of those, so I will just call him Bill. Bill proceeds to completely annihilate the Radiance in spectacular fashion. We are then treated to the Embrace the Void ending. Bill comes back down from the sky, dropping into the rest of Godhome. The Godseeker starts to get pulled into Bill by Void tendrils. We then cut to the Godseeker in the junk pit. Void starts leaking out of her eyes, and it appears as though Bill is making an escape back into the real world, which is probably a bad thing?
Yeah.
Finally, we see Hornet standing outside of the Black Egg as the infection begins to disappear from nearby vines. Hornet hears footsteps coming from inside the Black Egg as the Hollow Knight reveals itself to her and the two prepare for combat. So from this cutscene we can see that the Radiance's death in Godhome actually did kill her for real, meaning that the infection over Hallownest is now gone. This means the seals inside of the Black Egg probably wore off, allowing the Hollow Knight to escape its prison. In other words, the Embrace the Void ending is a goddamn cliffhanger, and we have no idea how Team Cherry plans to follow this up.
You know what? Whenever I saw that cutscene, whenever I beat Pantheon 5, I did not realize that was the Hollow Knight that squared up for battle. I did not realize that was wow. Wow, learning so much. He saw you could steal fruit and left instantly. He didn't want to have no parts of burglary. Maybe Hornet is strong enough. You know what? It's kind of hard to say. Because, I mean, us, the player, we were able to beat both Hornet and we were able to beat both Hollow Knight. So, can't really tell who's stronger. I low-key feel like, let's see, I'm thinking about their moveset right now. I'm thinking about their movesets. Who was a tougher battle? Honestly, you know what? Hornet probably won that battle because Hollow Knight probably sleepy, probably drunk. Just woke up out of a deep sleep. He's probably, he's not up to 100%. Hornet, she's ready. You saw the way she turned around and just immediately squared up. She ready. I'm saying she ready.
The Hollow Knight is running loose in Hallownest, and the Knight has transformed into a raging void monster that might try to destroy the entire kingdom, or at least what's left of it. What's even more strange about this ending is that the announced sequel, Hollow Knight Silksong, doesn't seem to be related to this ending at all, but that's a whole different shit show. Obviously, the biggest mystery surrounding this ending is the appearance of Bill. Did this creature exist in the void already? Or was it somehow willed into existence by the power of the Godseekers? Did the Knight turn into this thing, or did it just become a part of it? Examining a statue of this creature and other forms of the Knight grant the player a Hunter's Journal entry for an ancient artifact called the Void Idol, which might imply this creature might have been worshipped by the ancient civilization. But again, that's pure speculation. We don't know what this worship of Void exactly looked like. Maybe the Void they worship took the form of something more sinister. There is one thing we know about this monster though. It's weak to flowers. Yes, these things. As it turns out, those delicate flowers that Zamir has stockpiled up her ass are actually useful for something. They contain a strange power that even deters the White Lady from touching one. The Godseeker, however, is dumb enough to accept a flower from the Knight. If the player does this, instead of Void being released out into the world, this flower pulls a no you, and the Godseeker and Void disappear into thin air. The flower...
I don't think I actually did that. I don't think I did that. That must be an ending. I definitely did not get that. I went until Sable says bye, to me before I go. Hey, well, goodbye. You know, man, I shouldn't have said bye. I shouldn't have said bye so that you could have stayed. I shouldn't have said bye, but it's too late now, man. Have a good night, man. Have a good night. Did you know there's another P5 ending? Yes, right here. Right here.
Itself is described as giving off a pale light, which appears to connect it to the pale beings. Like I said before, pale beings appear to be some form of top-tier gods. As of right now, we are only aware of two, the Pale King and the White Lady, but the fact that Zamir brought these pale flowers from a faraway land implies that there are definitely more of them out there. Another small hint of the existence of pale beings are the pale ore items that can be found all over Hallownest. Did these come from the Pale King, or possibly some other pale being? And what exactly are they? Are they poop? In general, the Godmaster endings appear to be doing a lot of setup for future Hollow Knight content. Like I said before, Hollow Knight Silksong doesn't seem to connect these events on the surface, so we are in a bit of a bind when trying to discuss what these endings actually mean for the greater narrative Team Cherry is building.
Oh my gosh!
There's definitely a lot more to consider about what the Pale Beings are and what properties they possess. And we also have plenty of questions surrounding the Void and how bugs have interacted with it in the past. It almost feels like we are looking through a keyhole, trying to grasp onto the totality of Team Cherry's creation. How powerful are creatures like Bill and the Worms? Where did things like the Void even come from to begin with? How much bigger is the world beyond Hallownest? Is Bardoon into butt stuff? But of course, that's the appeal of a game like Hollow Knight. Having all of the answers to every question would just ruin the mystery of the world. Plus, if we didn't have questions like this to waste our time on, then what else would we be doing with our lives? Go outside? Ugh.
Touch grass?
And so this video comes to an end. Now I know the average attention span of a YouTube viewer is 9 minutes, so let me leave you with a few takeaways. 1. Hollow Knight is a game about bugs. I know this may come as a shock, but it's true. Watch the video again, and this time, pay attention. You'll notice right away, I promise.
Alright, let's restart the whole video and let's actually pay attention. My bad. Silksong is taking too long. Where does Team Cherry live? Look up there, of course. It's probably online somewhere. My basement. Oh, there you go. There's the answer. MB's basement.
2. Murdering your own babies might not be such a good idea after all. I mean, this is obviously just my interpretation of the game's lore. Other people might have different views on the subject of murdering babies, and every opinion is valid, so I don't want to step on anyone's toes or anything. 3. Menderbug is fucking dead. 4. Nothing is certain. This video probably has a few flaws in it. Trying to construct a cohesive narrative with the information found in Hollow Knight isn't exactly straightforward. I'm sure my views will change in the future, and I encourage you to explore the lore yourself. 5. And this last point is fairly obvious, but I should mention it anyway. Cory in the House is the best anime.
Oh man. Special thanks to everyone. Oh, it's special thanks to the Embraced One and everyone else maintaining the Hollow Knight wiki. Special thanks to Zenber, KDT, and 56 for creating the debug mod, which allowed me to get so many beautiful shots of this game. This video included songs from Hollow Knight Piano Collections by Materia Collective. Please go check out their awesome album. Special thanks to the following for the provided voices. Oh shoot, wait, hold on. I gotta shout these people out. Relaya, Rusty, the Super Forge, Avati Vida. Special thanks to all my former and current patrons. Alright, shout out to the patrons. Made this account just for you, Daddy Mossbag. What the heck?
I'm your man.
Hey, that was it, bro. That was it. Now sayable, replay Hollow Knight without touching grass. Well, you know what? I might need to take you up on that, B. Grass and green path. You. I like how you censor that. Bob, well, that was nice. It was very nice. A lot of stuff to take in. Good thing I'm about to go to sleep. So I can download all this information that might sound stupid, but your brain, literally, I learned this in like middle school, and I'm pretty sure you guys have learned this too. But just in case there's somebody out here that hasn't learned this, your brain literally is like it's like a computer where sleep is where you download the stuff that you've learned like all throughout the day. That's why it's so important for you to get like a good night's rest and like enough sleep, like at least like 7-8 hours, somewhere around there, at least. Because if you don't get enough sleep, your brain doesn't have enough time to download all the information that you like learned during the day, right? Which it freaking sucks for people that's in school, like middle school, high school, and all that, because you got to wake up so freaking early just to go to school, especially if you ride a bus and like maybe your bus route gets to your house like an hour or two before school, so you got to go to sleep really early, which freaking sucks. But yeah, your brain it needs sleep. It needs sleep in order to like retain all the information that you learned throughout the day. That's why it's so important. It's so important. But yeah, oh my gosh, Tiny, I just got to connect the investors ad. I just got to connect the investors ad, Tiny. Hey, man, that's it, bro. That's really it. That is really it. Wow. Leah's mad or something, or what happened with Leah? What happened with Leah? B is on the list right now. What did B do now? What did B do? Shall be censored in all my chats as the worst person I've talked to. Wait, what? What are you talking about, Leah? Say, will you be joining us tomorrow? I will not be joining B. I will not. Hollow Knight, he got sacrificed before you knew it. Oh, sacrifice. We're talking about sacrifices. Okay. There was actually one thing I was gonna look up, but it wasn't like a video or anything. It was like just something simple, but I forgot. I had like remembered, like I was like probably around this area in the video. I had thought about something I was going to look up, but I can't remember now. I can't remember now for some reason. Oh man, that was a lot of information, bro. That was 10 million views. February 24th, 20. Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to look up. I was wanting to see I was wanting to see how much footage is actually out about Silksong. Okay, announcement trailer. I have not seen this video actually. I have not seen that at all. Wait, demo gameplay. Is this real? This is the E3 demo. Oh shoot, I have not seen that either. The reveal yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff I have not seen with Silksong. There's a lot. There is actually a lot. Wow, you know what? I might need to do a reaction to these, because like I saw like the teaser footage that was in this like Switch 2 Direct. I saw that, and then it was like some other footage I saw too, but I can't remember. But it wasn't that much though. It wasn't that much. Yeah, no, I haven't seen like the E3 footage. I haven't seen like the like actual reveal trailer, announcement trailer. I haven't seen any of that. So yeah, maybe I'll watch that. I might make a reaction video on it. Who knows? Reacting to Silksong 6 years later. First time. Something like that. I don't know though. It was about Grimchild hate. Put me on that list, please. He wants to be on the list. Dang. The current list of Save Ghosts and Tiny, Insult Dia, or Grim Children in general to get on. Oh. And it was 6 days ago. Wait, the video says Silksong in 2 weeks max, and it was 6 days ago. Silksong next week. Hey, there is that theory. Where it is supposed to come out like early August, specifically August 8th, because 8/8/2025 has appeared a lot somehow. So yeah. I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. But yeah, you know what? That's actually I use Carefree to block it. There you go, Tiny. There you go. A Carefree top 3 charm in the game. And if you have not, like I said, please check out the video that I posted today. Watch it fully. It's a banger fight. You're gonna want to see it, bro. First try. fighting Absrad after 3 months. Muscle memory just freaking kicking in, bro. Muscle memory on peak, bro. On peak. But yeah. Full cheek. Oh, full cam. Full cam. Ah, ha, ha, ha. There you go. Ah, that's me. You know, our teeth looking kind of nice. Teeth looking kind of nice. I look kind of crazy, though. I look kind of crazy, though. But yeah, we actually gotta raise someone. Carefree won't save you from repeated text from NKG. It has a cooldown. Well, actually, it could. Actually, it could. I watched the first Silksong trailer. That's it. Yeah, I gotta see everything else. I gotta see everything else. I don't want to watch the demo because of spoilers for some things, such as areas or bosses. That's totally understandable. Granted, that is totally understandable. I'll probably watch the demo especially since we're so close to actually it being released. Like, I mean, it wouldn't hurt that much. Getting close and personal now, say, well, you mean like this? Jump scare. Oh man, but yeah, no, don't leave just yet, though, Chad. Don't leave just yet. We gotta raid someone. We gotta find someone to raid. Hey, if you're not in Discord, make sure to join Discord. The link is in the description down below. Appreciate each and every one of you guys that stuck it out with me watching this. I had thought about like doing this earlier. I had thought about making this reaction video like into like an actual like video of me posting on YouTube. But I realized I don't know how I would do that because I don't know if you're able to like convert YouTube streams to like videos. Like I don't know if you're able to download them. Like I know Twitch, you're able to easily download the VOD, but I wasn't streaming on Twitch, so I probably should have streamed on Twitch just for that specifically, not even like looking at chat, like chat purposes. I should have just streamed for that, but I did not even think about that like literally until now. So yeah, I mean, I might just let the stream be up. Who knows? Who knows? But the reason why I was thinking about oh, let me show you guys something. The reason why I was thinking about making it into a video browser yeah, because hold on, look at this, look at this. Or video. Look at this, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the freaking views. Wait, look at the freaking views these people are getting just from Reddit. Like, bro, that was a month ago. 4.4. Like, dude, what the freak? Dude, what the freak? What the freak? 131,000. Yeah, that's why I wanted to make a video on it. But I don't even know if my video would do that. I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah. Can Carefree block Sable up close? Mmm. Oh wait, can Carefree block close up Sable? Okay, I read that wrong. You know what? I don't think it can. I don't think Carefree's powerful, but I don't think it's that powerful. I don't think it's that powerful. But yeah, let's find someone to raid. Let's find someone playing Hollow Knight. Yeah, I'm actually search it up on my no, actually I'm gonna do it on my phone because it's a lot easier on my phone. Yes. Hollow Knights live. Let's see. First playthrough of Hollow Knight. Ooh, wait a minute, hold on. That dude got like 50 viewers. Hold on, no, I probably don't need to rate him. He don't need the help. He don't need the help. He's good. He's good. Wait a minute, hold on. There's not many people playing Hollow Knight. That is a Spanish dude. No. That's me. Huh. Interesting. Oh man. Oh, hold on. Might have found someone. I gotta see. right. This dude seems. Wait, what happened? What happened? Okay, yeah. I had no ads for myself. I think I got like maybe 2 ads on my phone, literally 2 ads on my phone. But we're gonna rate this man Fitz Pimlings. He has a current live cat cam on right now. Playing through Hollow Knight. What you call it? This is his 7th stream, so he's in what's this area called? The fungal area, whatever it's freaking called. So yeah, hashtag say what goes raid. Let him know. Let him know where you guys came from. And yeah, just thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. This look, this was long awaited, man. Like I said earlier, like at the very beginning of the stream, this was highly requested. And I'm glad I was able to come through for you guys. I'm glad I was able to do this. I've been meaning to do this for a very long time, and I finally did it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, join Discord. Hopefully you liked the stream, and follow me on Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. All that stuff is in the description down below, man. Just again, thank you. But yes, I am gonna wrap this up now, and with that being said, I can actually this is crazy. I can actually see myself doing the outro. Hold on, let's see. Let's see how remember, stay happy, healthy, and hydrated. My name is Sebagos. You guys have been a wonderful audience. Love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.